Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the core book for Kill Team Octarius. I've already made some videos for the Compendium book and the Octarius supplement book, but in today's video we're going to take a real good look at the core book and we'll flick through the entire book so you get a good idea of what's included, and then hopefully this video will give you a good idea if this is something that you'd like to pick up for your collection. Right, so here we've got the core book, and this comes either on its own, you can purchase it separately, or it comes in the Kill Team Octarius box set, and it's 144 pages, and this will contain all the main rules that you need for the game. Now you're not going to get any rules for or data cards for any of the factions or any of the operatives, so you will need to pick up either the Octarius supplement book or the Compendium to get any data for the actual operatives. But for all the rules for the game itself, they're all going to be found in this book. I really like the artwork that they've gone with for this book, and the whole branding for Kill Team, the new version, is really nice, and I think it looks great. And in this core book we're going to get some really nice photos, some great images, and I think the layout is really great. So as we go through it you'll see what I mean. But inside we're going to get the complete rules for playing the new Kill Team game, and we're going to get some lore that are going to go into details about the Warhammer 40k universe and the different factions that you can play in Kill Team, and you'll also find all the main rules for the game and a great section that goes on about the narrative campaign play. Alright, let's get started. So first of all you're greeted with the Kill Team logo on this full page, and then we get the content section, and here we're going to get the welcome introduction. We're going to get some lore, and a decent amount. We're looking at 34 pages of lore altogether, before more than that even, 40 pages altogether, before we move on to the core rules. And this is telling us this goes all the way up to page 82. Now a lot of this is going to be images and photos, so really the rules we need to read through is just over 20 pages. So it's not a huge amount to read through, and I think the way they've done it is really nice. Then we're going to look at the open play, match play, Spec Ops narrative play, and then we've got the appendix and the blank narrative card. And then here we're getting started now with a couple of short paragraphs that really set the mood of the game and get us started, and then we're opening up to welcome to the kill zone, and here we can see everything that's included in the Kill Team Octarius box set, that awesome terrain and two great factions to start playing with. So this is a nice introduction, and then I like that they've included this little collecting part where it goes into, you know, how you can collect the different kill teams, a few images here, and just really getting you into that idea. And then a little talk about gaming, and then we go on to the lore section, and then this is really nice, not too much. You know, most of these are only going to be like 2 pages per topic, so really you can just dip in and out of this and have a read through. We've got a little bit of a story included here, and then again just going into the theatres of war, a little bit of a look into the kill zone for Hive Usherov, and then we move on starting to look at the different armies and then the factions. So here we got the forces of the Imperium first of all, and it gives us just a little paragraph introducing us to each of the different forces. And then as we turn the page we can see some images, some photos, and then a little bit more information about each one. So this is nice. I really like how they've done this. Again, it's not a huge amount to read. You get a little taste of what they're all about, and then you can see some images of them in action and painted up. And so this is a great way to decide what kind of kill teams you might be interested in picking up or learning a little bit more about. So a great introduction in here, and then you could go online and find loads of information and lore about each particular faction, and then decide if you want to start kind of introduce those as your kill team maybe in your game. So this is really nicely done. I really like how they've done this. Then we're on to the Forces of Chaos, same layout, really nice little paragraphs again just to get into it. Then we've got the Ancient and the Eldritch, some really nice pictures, and then the Savage and the Strange, all laying it out, loads of photos. I like how they've used all the different terrain as well, and so these are really nice, seeing them going up against each other. Then we're on to the core rules. Now this starts at page 50, but these 2 pages are already taken up with this cool artwork, and then we start going into the rules on page 52. I've had a really good read through all the rules, and I'll be starting the rules videos today. So the first one is going to be up on the channel the same day that this video comes out. But if you're watching it in the future, then maybe all the rule videos will be finished, because it's not going to take me long to go through all these rules and make the rules series for it. But again, nicely done. Really nicely laid out. I like the orange, black, white and grey colour scheme they've gone with. And then as you look through it, there's a lot of sections that come out in like this bold here. So it kind of just breaks it up, makes it really nice and easy to read. There is going to be some getting used to these symbols and different like coloured shapes here that refer to the different distances. But I think once you get used to that, it just flows really nicely. You could even just do away with it altogether and just concentrate on using the numbers of the distance rather than the shapes. But if you like this idea and you can get used to it, then I think it works really nicely in the book. Some parts can be a bit like reading algebra when you combine the different characteristics. Like they'll say the M characteristic is one white circle. And so that sounds a bit weird at first, but I think once you play it a few times, that's going to become second nature. And I think it makes it easier when you do play. So perhaps like reading the rules at first is not so great, but when you actually play and you start moving around, I think that these symbols and the little measuring gauges you get with the set make it really like nice on the battlefield. So I quite like it. I think it's quite good, but a little bit confusing. And especially when you think that the circle is 2, the triangle could easily be 3 because it's got 3 sides, would match up to 3 inches. Maybe make the square 2 and the circle 1, and maybe change that pentagon that's 6 inches to a hexagon, and then we'd have like 6 sides. But I don't know. But anyway, I think you can get used to this quite quick. So although most of the rules are included in this book, you're also going to find additional rules on the data card. So there's going to be some rules on the data card that you're not going to find in the book. So when you have your different factions, you'll have specific rules that apply to them, and you're going to find those on that data card. And then we've got the battle structure laying out the different phases. And so turning points, which I guess are just rounds. And then we've got initiative phase, strategy phase, and firefight phase. And this is, again, laid out really nicely. It introduces us to the 3 stages, or phases, and then breaks them down really quite briefly, actually. There's not a huge amount to read through here, so it's really good. And then we start moving into the different actions you can make. And then shooting, like close combat, fighting. Wounds and damage is very short, 1 small page. Most of that's taken up with imagery, and the print is big as well, so it's not a huge amount of information there. We've got a bit about controlling objective markers and tokens. So that's 1 page. But then you've got lots of other tokens that come in the game that you find out about as you move through the different sections. So once you start looking at, for example, line of sight and other rules, then you're going to see those other tokens coming in, as well as your TAC ops. There's going to be some tokens in there that refer to the TAC ops. Then we've got introduction to kill zones, how to move through terrain. So nice photos showing it, making it very clear and showing you exactly what you can do. So this is really nice. But I've been doing a video of these and really putting this into action so you can see it actually being played out on the battlefield. So that'll be in the rules series that I make. Then we've got some example boards. So this is really nice, laying out some different terrain, how you might like to do it. I think for me, having the flexibility to put whatever terrain you want and combining that with the missions that are included in here is really nice, and I like that part of it. Being able to put as much terrain as you want, making it quite dense, is really fun for games like this. Then we've got example terrain features. So if you've got the terrain from Games Workshop already, you can look at which parts apply to the rules. So this would be classed as heavy, insignificant, for example, and then these would be vantage points. So this is really helpful. And again, some more there. Then we move into ways to play. And so there's 3 ways you can play this: open play, match play, and narrative play. And each one of these ways to play is going to get a few pages just telling you all about it. But once you get on through past match play and get on to the Spec Ops narrative play, I think this is really good. And this is something I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into with Kill Team. This Spec Ops section, this narrative play section, is roughly 20 pages, so it's taken up a good chunk of the book here, and it tells you how to start your Spec Ops campaign, goes into experience, and then your different specializations, casualties, battle scars, all the things you expect from this kind of narrative campaign for a skirmish game. Base of operations, which is really fun, and I like that part of it, that's really good. And then your strategic assets, requisitions, Spec Ops, and then it's got these all listed here. everything you need to know for your narrative campaign, and then a nice narrative play mission sequence. So this is really laid out really nicely with these different numbered sections telling you exactly what you need to do and when to do it. Then we've got the critical operations mission pack with some tables here, so you can roll a d3, choose which one to do, and then there we go, we've got the layout. So again, using your own terrain here is really cool. So I like, you can lay out the terrain however you like and then tie that in with the different missions. And so this is giving you a bunch of these missions here. You get, what, 9 altogether? So lots to play here. And of course there's more in the Octarius book as well, and more on the way for sure. Then we get to the TAC Ops, and you're going to get some TAC Ops for each faction as well. So you'll see that. And then as we get to the end, we're going to have an appendix, just going over, making sure we know what all the words mean. And then the narrative data cards to photocopy and print off. And then just an explanation of all the markers and tokens, and then that brings us to the end of the book. Overall, I really like this book. I think the layout's really nice, the amount of lore you get is great, and I love how they've done the different factions, just giving you a little introduction with some nice photos, a little taste just to see what kill teams you might like to put together. One big criticism about this for me though, and I've seen it quite a lot as well in comment sections and stuff, is that there's no data cards in here for any of the factions. There's no information on how to play any factions in this book, and if you don't get the compendium or you didn't get the Octarius box set, so you wouldn't be able to get the Octarius supplement book, you're not going to have data cards at all. So in the Octarius one, you get the data cards for the Death Corps of Krieg Veteran Guardsmen, and you also get the Commando Orcs, and in the compendium you get all the other factions, or all the other ones available to play at the moment. So while I think the compendium's a great book, and I also really like Octarius, I think some of this could certainly have been built into the core book. I mean, there is a lot of information in that compendium, but I think the core book could have had some factions in, not necessarily all of them, but some of the main ones, just so people could get started with just the core book. Because if you wanted to just buy the book and not the Octarius game, you can't, you could get this book, but then you do need to buy the compendium. So there is a little limitation there. I think in the future, as we start to see more sets and more kill team specific box sets coming out for the different factions, then we're probably going to get the data cards and the information we need to play them included with them, or in their own supplement book like we've seen for Octarius. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But if you were to just buy the core book, you couldn't just play the game on its own. So that is a big letdown for this, but otherwise I think it's a really nice book. The layout's fantastic, and the amount of rules in there are easy to follow, and you can quickly get played. I'd love to know what you think about the core book, and also the way they've gone about this system of having the core book with the additional compendium and supplement books on top. And what do you like about the core book the best? What don't you like? So it'd be great to hear your thoughts and feedback. Always love reading through the comments, so it'd be great if you join in the comment section below. I've also made a video about the compendium book review, if you'd like to check that out on the channel, and loads of other videos including the unboxing of the main Octarius game, how to build your Krieg and Orc kill teams using the contents, and then loads of painted videos for all the different terrain pieces, the Death Corps of Krieg Veteran Guardsmen, and the Orcs as well, even how to make the bases. I'll put some links in the description below to all the products for the main game, the core book separately and the compendium separately, and then you can pick those up and save yourself up to 20% on the RRP. There'll be affiliate links, but it won't cost you anything extra, and you help support the channel because I get a small commission from every sale made through those links. So if you do choose to click the links and have a look, then thanks so much for that. I really appreciate your support. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I also hope this gave you a good idea about what this book is all about, and then you can decide whether or not this is something you'd like to add to your collection. So for now, thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. If you like this kind of content and would like to support the channel, then please check out my Patreon page, and thanks to everyone who's joined so far. It's really awesome. We hang out on Discord, talk about the hobby, share ideas and help each other out, and you'll get some perks there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description, and it'd be great to see you there.